And by the way, do you know what is also really funny yet kind of sad? So currently the biggest toy company in the world, Mattel, arguably the biggest, owns Thomas the Tank Engine, owns the rights to Thomas and Friends merchandise, everything, and they can't even give us something like this. This is such a small fraction of the Tomy line, and I still can create an entire layout like this, including Brendam docks and cool pieces such as the drawbridge or this bridge, the pedestrian bridge in Wellsworth Station, a tunnel with some trees, actual rolling stock that the engines can pull. And like I said, I don't even own a lot of the Tomy line, and I'm still able to make this with characters such as Bulstrode. And it just goes to show that the days of Thomas Motorized, the days of it actually being good are so long gone. And what you're looking at right now is the last time it was ever really good. And it's actually pretty, it's more funny than sad now to really look back at it, because Mattel has just failed time and time again to ever give us quality merchandise. And all we have to do is go back in the past, and we have this whenever we want. Whenever you want, you can buy this stuff online and have this in your house, in your setup, in your train room. So we always have the good times of Thomas Motorized. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video today. Today we are back on the Tomy Thomas and Friends train. We have got a Tomy layout set up here in our train room today. And today I will be unboxing and running, showing off my favorite and by far the best Motorized Thomas ever released. So without further ado, let's take a look at which Thomas this is. Taking the bubble wrap off here, we do have Thomas from the mid-2000s. The Thomas seen in the famous 2005 Tomy Thomas and Friends commercial. By far my favorite, and I really just think it's the best Motorized Thomas ever put out there on the market, and still today holds up and is better than anything that has been released, and it's not even close. So without further ado, let's get Thomas out of the packaging. So this Tomy Thomas and Friends line also had packaging similar to Thomas Wooden Railway, where it's just a cardboard back and then a plastic rectangle with the engine inside, held together by a small piece of tape, a circle piece of tape in this case. As you can see, it is sealed, brand new. Let's look for a date here. We do have 2003 on the bottom, and then we do have the line on the back side as well. The Thomas at the Station set, which is the set I also have. The Thomas Adventure set, which I did see on eBay a few days ago, up for bid, but it is now sold. So that's a pretty cool set, though. Comes with Birdie, some road track, a nice bridge, a very nice viaduct. Anyways, and then at the top we have just all the engines available in the line at the time on the back side. Just showing off the rest of the Tomy line. And then on the front, we just have the classic logo of Thomas and Friends, the Tomy logo, and then just the nameplate, and, well, of course, Thomas. So actually, I'm going to go and get my box cutter because I forgot to bring it with me. All right, I'm back. So I got my box cutter here. Let's just quickly get this tape cut so I can get Thomas out of the box. I did buy this on eBay, and you will not guess the price in which I got this Thomas for, because I got a really good deal. I was really searching for a Thomas like this one. As we all know, I did have another Tomy Thomas previously. I had the one from the 90s, but I think this one from the mid-2000s has a better face. Just a better face, honestly. I really just prefer it. So let's take Thomas out without scratching him from the plastic. I've never been a fan of this style of packaging. I like it, but I just don't like these plastic flaps that they rip so easily, and they're just kind of a pain to deal with sometimes, especially if they rip. So here we have Thomas, and then we have a Tomy pamphlet. And this one I've never had before in my collection. This one is from 2003. And you know what? I think we should open it. So first off, we also have this right here, which I'm sure is just instructions for Thomas. Yeah, definitely. So we all know how to put a battery in Thomas, so we don't need that. So we got the box, the instructions. Let's move back here. Let's take a look at this pamphlet of that Thomas came with. A blast from the past here. The golden days of Thomas Motorized merchandise. Sadly, we are in very dark times for Thomas merchandise, especially Motorized merchandise. Very dark times. And so to be able to buy this stuff online is definitely a treat. Oh, and by the way, yeah, so I did only pay $18 for this Tommy Thomas brand new. $18, that is it. Fantastic deal. So we just have some classic sets here. The one that I really want that is not on this pamphlet, at least that I can see, is the James at Wellsworth station set. I really want that one in my collection because it comes with Lori and it comes with James and some rolling stock. So I really want that set. But still some very cool sets on this pamphlet. Some more packs down below. And then on the right side, just showing off all of the engines. The Edward value pack, that's a one I would really love. I cannot find a brand new Tommy Edward for the life of me on eBay. I am trying so hard to get a nib original Tommy Edward, and I just cannot find it. I'm going to keep looking, but he's the next engine that I really do want to get brand new. Because I only buy brand new. I will never buy used Tommy items. That's not me. I'm never buying used. I'm going to pay for the brand new. Because I don't know, I just want an engine in brand new condition for myself. I don't want anyone's grimy hands on these engines that I'm buying. But some other cool items, Salty and Harvey coming soon, as you can see. The value packs of Tommy were always so good, as you can see. We got Henry and Percy and Duck and Gordon, James's pack, Toby, Edward, even the Tank Engine Twins. Then on the back side here, just some other Tommy items, not really relevant to what we are dealing with today, but a very cool pamphlet. Nice blast from the past. I'm going to put this, let's just put this over here and get into our review of Thomas. Oh, okay. So Thomas rolled out. But here is, we all know what a Tommy Thomas looks like, but just taking a look at this face here. Absolutely gorgeous. Fits the boiler. Fits the smoke box very nicely. Yeah, just my favorite Thomas ever released and Motorized, and I just think it's, like I said, still the best to this day. So without further ado, let's get some batteries inside of Thomas. All right, so we have the battery inside of Thomas. So I thought I was in some trouble, so I just decided to keep flipping the switch until Thomas's wheels finally fire, and finally his wheels turned on. Like I said, how many years has this Thomas existed without having a battery inside, without being tested? So this is the first time it's ever happened, and finally got the wheels to fire. So Thomas, all good. We don't have any issues with the gear either. Fluently running. Beautiful. So let's get Thomas's shell back on and get him on the tracks. So I've got Arthur on the Brendam Docks loop with some troublesome trucks, including Scruffy. We also have the drawbridge and the tunnel, so this will be a very nice loop for Arthur to run around. And then we've got Thomas on the station loop with Wellsworth Station, and we've got the nice red bridge. He's got a fuel tanker and Annie and Clarabelle. So without further ado, let's turn Thomas on for the first time ever. So is Thomas a good runner? Well, for running for the very first time ever since he was created in the factory, I would definitely say so. Now, if only I had this Thomas when I recreated my Tommy commercial from 2005.
It's a busy day on the railway for Thomas and Friends.
That would have been much more fitting than my Steam Along Thomas, but the Steam Along Thomas is still an absolute gem. It actually has real steam coming from the funnel. But anyways, I'm going to get this running session on the tracks here on the road. And by the way, do you know what is also really funny yet kind of sad? So currently the biggest toy company in the world, Mattel, arguably the biggest, owns Thomas the Tank Engine, owns the rights to Thomas and Friends merchandise, everything, and they can't even give us something like this. This is such a small fraction of the Tomy line, and I still can create an entire layout like this, including Brendam docks and cool pieces such as the drawbridge or this bridge, the pedestrian bridge in Wellsworth Station, a tunnel with some trees, actual rolling stock that the engines can pull. And like I said, I don't even own a lot of the Tomy line, and I'm still able to make this with characters such as Bulstrode. And it just goes to show that the days of Thomas Motorized, the days of it actually being good are so long gone. And what you're looking at right now is the last time it was ever really good. And it's actually pretty, it's more funny than sad now to really look back at it, because Mattel has just failed time and time again to ever give us quality merchandise. And all we have to do is go back in the past, and we have this whenever we want. Whenever you want, you can buy this stuff online and have this in your house, in your setup, in your train room. So we always have the good times of Thomas Motorized. But this Thomas, I'm very happy that I finally have him. So that's one less engine I have to collect. But the next engine I really do want is a brand new Edward. You know, I really do want James, Gordon, and Henry as well. But I did have those engines as a kid, so I'm not in a massive rush to get them into my collection again, because I can buy them whenever I want. Might be looking at some other characters that I never really had growing up. So we'll see who I get next. I kind of go through phases where I want to buy Tomy or Thomas Wooden Railway stuff, so we'll see. I never have a set list of who I'm going to buy next, but Edward's for sure the one I'm wanting. But anyways, into the running session once again. Alright everybody, so this has been another video covering the best motorized line Tomy. And today's video was showing off the brand new mid-2000s Tomy Thomas I got off eBay for just $18. I got this absolute gem of an engine. He runs perfectly, really just a beautiful sight. So as you can see, we did put Neville and Duck on the layout. Engines are all hard at work, and this is just a fraction, like I said before, a fraction of what you can do with Tomy. You can buy it whenever you want online, and I mean, we don't even have to think about Mattel, Thomas and Friends merch ever again when you have absolute just gems like this. Anyways, I want to thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about this Thomas in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in the next video.